of the inquiry on this day, 7 June 2023. Let me welcome all of you honorable members at this stage on the virtual platform. Welcome the public protector. Welcome the evidence leaders. To welcome members of the media. Welcome members of the public joining us in their various platforms. Before I proceed, I want to take this opportunity, as you all know, to indicate that we start today's session short of one of our members who have lost Honorable Dina Juma Peterson. And for that, I'm going to ask all of us to rise. There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. Please take your seats. Thank you, honorable members. I just want to start with a few opening remarks. Just to indicate, as we start today on the 7th of June with our inquiry, I thought it's important so that there's no confusion, that there's absolute clarity about all of the efforts and attempts and the work that we have done to ensure that we do everything in our power to ensure that the inquiry comes back and resume. I want to just quickly remind all of you that in February 2023, we were assisted in ensuring that disputes relating to invoices are resolved after the PP brought this to the attention of the committee. On the 1st of March 2023, the PP alerted that funds will not be availed after 31st March 2023. And we became alive to this, and we tried to manage proceedings so time is not wasted and unnecessary costs incurred as it may prejudice the PP. On the 31st of March 2023, the PPSA wrote a letter to the PP confirming that funding has dried up and that various interventions on our side we needed to find money, and we would have ensured that those must be done. On the 2nd of May, the PPSA confirms that an additional 4 million will be paid. On the 5th of May, the PP launches application in the Constitutional Court regarding her legal fees, amongst other things. On the 8th of May, the PP attends committee hearing alone, saying she cannot engage Sianejo and PPSA must do so. On the 9th of May, I would have written a letter as a chair to the CEO to resolve the impasse of who must brief Sianejo. On the 11th of May, the PPSA CEO responds, maintaining that position that the PP must brief Sianejo. On the 12th of May, the letter from myself to the PP indicating that hearings will resume on the 17th of May. On the 15th of May, Sianejo withdraws 2 days before the resumption of the meeting. On the 16th of May, 2023, the letter from the chair to Sianejo requesting clarity and for them to appear before the committee, they refuse. On the 17th of May, 2023, the PP confirmed in our meeting in this room that Sianejo is no longer acting for her and requested assistance via the PPSA in procuring the services of Chinese attorneys who are also on the panel of attorneys for the PPSA. Full reasons for Sianejo no longer acting were not apparent as they invoked professional legal privilege, which the PP did not waive. The PP did, however, indicate to the media that it was because of funding and payment issues. On the 18th of May, I write to the PPSA CEO asking that it assist the PP by appointing Chan. On the 23rd of May, 2023, Chinese attorneys appointed as correspondent attorneys. Since then, there would have been regular correspondence with Chinese attorneys and the Secretariat about appointing counsel. The 24th of May, China indicated that Advocate Mpofu will not accept the brief unless the juniors are appointed. On the 25th of May, the state attorney informed China that approval has been granted to also appoint the 2 juniors to support Advocate Mpofu as per his request. On the 29th of May, the state attorney advises the PPSA that council has revised their fees and it's now increased. On the 2nd of June, 2023, this committee met and resolved to proceed. China attorneys receives communication from state attorney informing them that the council's revised fees have been agreed to and they can proceed to brief council. I write a letter to China indicating that inquiry will now resume as the requests of council have been met. That resumption will be on the 5th of June, Monday past. I also indicate that having regards to the request to conclude the evidence on Bosasa CR17 and the SARS, as would have been ventilated and discussed in the committee meeting on Friday, that's the route I'm considering to take. But in that letter, I also indicate to China attorneys and the PP that they need to give their comment on that intention that I'm considering by Sunday, 1300 hours. On the 4th of June, the letter from China indicating they can't brief council as they need to familiarize themselves with the records in the matter despite the PP indicating Advocate Mpofu is a representative of choice. The letter arrives in the evening, whereas we gave a 1 p.m. or 1300 hours deadline if there were issues to raise. I send a letter to China indicating that consideration is still being given to an approach of allowing evidence to be concluded on CR17 Bosasa and SARS, and a deadline for comment extended to the 5th of June at 2 from the 4th of June at 1300 hours. So I repeat the matter in the letter. On the 5th of June, 2023, late afternoon, I received a letter from China attorneys saying, Mr. China is in hospital and no one else can respond to Chair's letter. The letter from the chairperson to China in terms of the decision in respect of conclusion of evidence on CR17, Bosasa, and SARS. In this letter that I write to China, I also provide draft directives incorporating the process to provide for this decision. The 6th of June, yesterday, I received a letter from the PP, personally to me, raising request for the following issues. 1, recusal, an intention to apply for the recusal of the chair. Concern regarding legal representation. And thirdly, objection to the way forward as indicated in that letter, in the manner that the committee saw fit and discussed on Friday, the 2nd of June, that we must endeavor to finish the first part, which involves CR17 Bosasa, as well as SARS and Gordon matters. I wanted this point before this brief tabling of the correspondence and the recapping by the legal advisor to indicate that one, for the intention by the PP to ask for the recusal of the chair. I want to indicate that if the PP would want to proceed on that matter, I would want to indicate that I would expect a recusal application in writing, submitted by Friday, 1300 hours, and I will endeavor as a chairperson to respond in writing to that recusal application by Monday, 1300 hours. There will be no oral presentation of the recusal that will be permitted. 2, on the issue of objecting to the way forward, the objection is noted, but the committee has indicated its own decision as to how it wants to proceed. And therefore that matter stands. Thirdly, on the issue of legal representation, we would have received this morning a letter from the PPSA, from the CEO, indicating that they have exercised their prerogative and their right on the options that would have been shared in the PP's letter in paragraph 28, that given the fact that the new attorneys have been hospitalized, that the state attorney have now enforced and taken over that task. There's a letter in that regard. I think the correspondence will also indicate that there's a sick note we have received from Mr. Chane, from a Dr. Farai Dube, who is indicating that he would have admitted him on the 5th of June, and that when he's ready, is subject to further notice. That's what the letter that we have also received this morning indicate. So by all accounts, all of the issues put, the 3 issues put as part of the demand by the PP have now been attended to. And I would want now to ask the legal advisor and Mr. Ngoma to briefly, as you would have received this correspondence, quickly to recap some of the things I would have touched. And thereafter, I will open the platform for interaction and engagement. I thank you. I had asked that I wanted to make a ruling after the members have spoken. So I see Honorable Malema, is that a second bite that you want to have before I make a ruling?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
Chair, there's the story that there's no substantive motion here. It's actually neither here nor there because we cannot meet here and then behave like there are no issues. There's been a loss of life based on, amongst other things, these allegations. And we can't treat this matter as if it's not a serious matter. We came here with the understanding that you on your own will, perhaps in your introduction, make those remarks and ultimately say, because of these reasons, I will not proceed. There's nothing thumbsucked here. People must know what is the definition of thumbsuck. You don't go to a branch and cram a concept of thumbsuck and abuse it at this platform. Allegations have been made and letters have been written to the speaker. WhatsApp messages have been publicized implicating the leadership of this committee. And I know it's very difficult to persuade the corrupt to agree with us in this regard, because their unity is based on principle of corruption. And it's very unfortunate that other leaders of the opposition have joined the bandwagon of defending allegations of corruption. We would have failed in our own duty as a committee and as parliamentarians not to attend to these matters if we come in this fashion and not say anything. Our duty is to confront corruption and bribery at any given moment where it raises its ugly head. And Chair, we're speaking to your conscience. It's only you and you alone, without any motion being put forward, without any substantive motion being put forward. You have a duty yourself to protect the integrity of this commission. So a public protector must appear before a person who is alleged to have solicited a bribe in order for her to get a fair trial. And then people say it will be in the best interest of public protector to proceed. It's not correct. It will not be. There is a huge dark cloud hanging over your head. And recusal does not mean a guilty verdict. You say there are these matters, let me allow the process to continue untainted. And once these matters have been clarified, we'll come back to proceed with our matters. Even the judges do that on a daily basis. It doesn't mean they're weak. It doesn't mean they say they accept responsibility, that they are conflicted. Sometimes they just say, for the sake of the progress, it doesn't mean I agree with it. And that's what we are appealing to. Members of parliament who are not driven by corruption will be standing up today and saying, we're not finding the chair guilty, but we think it's the right thing to do for the chair to recuse himself. No one has ever said the committee must stop. So anyone who says this is a delay tactic, you're hallucinating. There's no one who has ever said, let's delay this. We said, let the chair stand aside and one amongst us will rise to proceed on this matter. The story that we're given a mandate by Parliament to proceed on this matter, there were no these allegations when Parliament said, let's proceed. So don't talk like, no, we are still the same way we were when we established by Parliament. It's not correct. When Parliament established us, no one solicited a bribe of 600,000, 200 for each. And you come here and want to behave like our people are not implicated in the bribe scandal. Shame on you. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. I wasn't going to speak after the president of the EFF because he covered me greatly, but I'm tempted now because of this colleague who just spoke before. Chair, we can't ignore the fact that you are headlines. You've made headline. Your name has made headlines. And that's what the committee members should know. So you are a topic in South Africa and possibly beyond the borders of South Africa, that you are implicated in a scandal, corruption scandal of soliciting money. The WhatsApp messages are there. The evidence is there. It's been given. It's very sad that one of our own is no more now, today, a day after those messages were made public. So it's a public issue. And you are chairing this committee. Where else can we speak to you or about you, if not in this committee? And we are saying to you, we wrote to Parliament, by the way, and Chair, this matter is even in front of the Ethics Committee, where you are a member yourself. So members of Parliament can't say that there's no evidence and therefore let's just ignore everything else. The matter is sitting with the Ethics Committee. That is a fact. The matter about you and the claims again about your corruption. Now, Chair, please, we are saying to you, you are frustrating us. You see, now we spent almost more than an hour now discussing you. When you started correctly by addressing us, we are hoping, like just at the end, we came with it properly, like timelines like that. This is where we are. This is where we started. This is the letter as well. I therefore resigned. I leave you committee with this. That's what we expected from you. Now we are all over fighting, trying to make sense to you, pleading with your conscience. Our Chair, just please be honorable and say, my name is out there in the media. When you switch on the TV, the radio, the newspapers, your name is there. These colleagues, their names are not there. Well, not as yet, but yours are there. Your name is there. It's about you. Now, recuse yourself so that we can finish this matter of the inquiry. We want to finish. That's why we're here. That's why we came here. We came here because we want to finish. Your party is the majority. They will still appoint another ANC chairperson. We don't want to be those things of chairperson ourselves. Maybe you think we want to take the chairpersonship. No, we don't want it. We are holding members of Parliament accountable. That is our job. That is our mandate. So please, it's not true that this matter is not before Parliament. This matter is before Parliament. This matter is before the Ethics Committee. And because you are chairing this committee, we can't therefore ignore that there's claims of corruption, allegations of corruption against you. Recuse yourself, Chair. We're pleading with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Manani, sir.
Thank you, Chairperson. One, I want to actually welcome your presentation. And mine is just an order on you to say, as the chairperson, please direct the meeting. Because this thing of second bite, I don't think it is honorable on the basis that you have given members to actually discuss their issues and members have been making inputs with regards to the issue at hand. So please take the decision with regards to whatever that has been discussed and stop this thing that some of us, we are abused here. We can't be told that about corruption and as if we are protecting corruption, the corruption that we don't know. And some of us, we are not corrupt. So please direct us, Chairperson. We can't be abused by Honorable Malema and Honorable Mautwe. We are not obsessed about it being Chairperson.
No, you are talking absolute rubbish now. It's our right to speak. You are talking absolute rubbish.
Please protect us, Chair.
It's our right to speak here. We are not abusing you. What do you mean?
Chair, don't allow this thing, please.
What is rubbish, Honorable Malema?
No, what is abuse?
No,
you know what is abuse? You are talking rubbish. That's rubbish.
Chairperson, don't allow this. It's going to degenerate all this committee meeting if you allow it. Please.
Honorable Malema. Honorable Malema, I have not recognized you to speak in the first place. I want you to refrain from what you are doing because that is completely out of order what you are doing. When a member is on the platform, when you have been given a platform twice, and you start doing that, no matter whether you like or you don't like what the member is saying, I would like you to refrain from doing that. Honorable Mananiso, please.
Chair, on a point of order.
What's the point of order?
Yeah, Chair, when we speak here, we address the committee through the chair. But once the member starts calling another member by name, then he's inviting him or her to respond. That's why you see Honorable Malema responding. We were speaking here. We never mentioned a name of anyone but you as the chair, because we speak through you. Now this one of Mananiso comes and calls our names. Why must we keep quiet? Because you are not protecting us yourself, Chair. You must protect us from the abuse of Abu Mananiso here. Please. We won't respond if they don't call our names. We don't want to respond.
There's nothing honorable about what you're doing.
We don't want to respond to nothing. She's not saying anything anyway. We want to respond to the
same as you.
But when our names are called, no, we can't keep quiet. Protect us, Wena Chair, please.
Thank you, Honorable Mautwe. Thank you, Honorable Mautwe. Honorable Mananiso, please proceed.
I think I have concluded by saying that please give us the direction. Leave this thing of second bite, third bite, and so on.
Thank you, Honorable Mananiso. Paul, I hear you now. My response, Honorable Olamisa, is that as things stand, there is no recusal application. In the letter of the public protector, there is an intention that's what she will pursue. And therefore, what I'm doing, I'm encouraging both herself and anybody else who wants to do the recusal to do that. So there is no recusal application in front of us as we meet here today. Thank you, Honorable Olomis.
But Chairperson, what did she say? What is she asking us to do? We have a right to know that. Please, just summarize it for us.
Yeah, we will summarize that for you because it's part of the...
Raised by you.
Thank you. It's part of the update, and it's also in the letters that we've sent to all of you, but we'll emphasize and lift it up in terms of paragraph 28. I now recognize you, Public Protector.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members of the committee, members of the public. Thank you, Chairperson, for giving me an opportunity. I would like to start by saying, Chairperson, the truth is that actually what Fatima was indicating, which was not captured properly, and I've clarified in the letter that the council of my choice was not yet briefed. So I wanted to make sure that I write that letter. I was not supposed to actually communicate directly, but it's because my attorney is admitted, is at the hospital, and I think it was going to be just the end of it as well, Chairperson, and let's not expose even the doctors and everything, because the person, I mean, there's evidence that was admitted on the day I was supposed to appear. So, and I indicated in the letter, Chairperson, which I wrote to you, which you say members of the committee are having the letter. And ideally, the response was supposed to come from my attorneys. And in my letter, I was addressing what you are saying, Chairperson, that it is not true that all impediments to the inquiry have been lifted because I didn't have I'm not having a counsel to represent me, or counsel has not been briefed. And another issue, Chairperson, is that paragraph 32 of your letter, where you granted me until 2 p.m. of the 6th of June to make a representation regarding the proposed change. Yet on the 5th, then you further communicated your decision, which I think you just decided even before hearing my representation. In any event, that's why I said those directives will have to be dealt with by the council and the issues to be ventilated properly, because that's what, well, you've mentioned and Fatima has mentioned. And I will also want to indicate, Chairperson, that the Tshwane attorneys was appointed as the choice after Sianego, taking into consideration that Sianego was well versed with all the information. If it was not for that letter of Gcaleka of the 1st of March, we wouldn't be sitting here. And it's not the fault of the committee, it's not also my fault that letter was written, because we would have proceeded well. But now there is this now blame on me, and I don't know why, by Honorable Melda and them, that I'm delaying the process, because we would have proceeded properly. So the issue of the attorneys, I saw in the letter you were mentioning that they came late, and I said they will address it themselves and that they are a correspondent. I don't understand that. Hence the paragraph 28, where I said Tshwane or any state attorneys, but you remember there's a letter where the Solicitor General is conflicted and even confirmed that in the previous meeting. And I'm so shocked that PPSA and the Solicitor General, they went ahead, they decide that they are terminating. I see this letter here, it's just a shock. The attorney is still in the hospital. I'm sitting here, I see a letter that the mandate of the attorney has been terminated, just like that. So I don't know as well, what does that say? Because Solicitor General understanding as well that they are well conversant with the judgment of the Concord about the issue of the attorney of my choice. Hence, I requested the panel of attorneys. I then indicated that another attorney can be Tshwane. So I don't know when they have agreed with the state attorney, what does that mean? Another issue, Chairperson, is that in your letter, you were alleging that I didn't give instruction to attorneys, which I also totally do not agree with. And I mean, you could see that I've given instruction to the attorneys. They were proceeding with the matter. And for the professional reasons, they were saying they cannot just go ahead and deal with the matter without reading the documents, because that's how the legal profession works. I mean, state attorney will explain. I don't know whether they understand that. Fatima, as the legal practitioner and even evidence leaders, they know how to brief counsel. You cannot just be a postbox as an attorney and not read, and also you need to contribute. But then, I don't know then if the state attorney would want to take that responsibility, and they are conflicted. And hence I said, Chairperson, I have no reason to delay the inquiry. And the suggestion that the issue of the evidence leaders, what they are paid, that the News 24 article covered that, it's so wrong. And I indicated that I reject that, because members of the public, they have a right to also know, including Sukras, who's always been blaming me for the costs. So people are not subscribing to News 24. So when you're referring people to News 24 article, because you can't read that, and the headlines was speaking about Advocate Mpofu, was not indicating how much the evidence leaders are paid. And I think Honorable Mautwe raised that 10 months ago. And I don't know that process anyways for the members of this committee to also insist on that. I don't know whether through your parliamentary process. So on the issue of the Honorable, the late Ms. Jumat Peterson, and the referral to you and the Chief Whip, and to address the issue that is hearsay, Honorable Ngola saying is rumor mongering, and Honorable Majosi, you even were interviewed on TV, and you said if evidence is brought, you will request the chairperson to recuse themselves. And I mean, I wrote the letter to the chairperson requesting the chairperson to recuse himself out of his own conscience, not to say I mean, I said as a last resort, I will do the application to do that. And secondly, I never asked Ms. Jumat to approach my husband and to have that. The case is opened, hence the journalist got the information from the police. And yes, I've lodged the complaint with the ethics committee. And unfortunately, the speaker published that I approached her and she advised me before even the newspaper articles which were mentioning about her refusing to meet with me. And I must indicate, Chairperson, that hence I'm saying to you, and what Honorable Honomisa is asking, I find it difficult to appear before you as the chairperson who has been implicated or who is alleged to have also sent Honorable Jumate, may her soul rest in peace, to come and solicit bribe from my husband. And Chairperson, I've heard the audio, the recordings, and that recordings will be made available as well to the committee, and the members of the public will even hear for themselves where you and Ms. Majodina are implicated in that recording. The police have been given that recording. Hence, I couldn't say, just sit after hearing, and I said the case must be opened immediately. So, Majodina, if you say there's no concrete evidence, when there's WhatsApp, others were saying, no, there's no mention of you. There is a recording which the public will be hearing, which I've heard, where you were said to have solicited the bribe, and you were called by name, and Ms. Majodine was called by name on that. So if Honorable Sukras is coming here, I mean, it's so even embarrassing to find that.
Can you pause? Can you pause? There's a point of order. Can you pause?
Yeah.
Honorable Nkosi?
No, thank you, Chairperson. But with due respect, is the PP now giving evidence on her own WhatsApps to this committee? This committee is not constituted to, and it doesn't have the competence nor the investigative powers to go into what she's saying. I would request that you go back to your ruling that the appropriate bodies to which this matter have been referred be the ones that determine the veracity or none of what she's saying. We can't sit here and listen to that evidence being led here. Thanks, Chair.
Now, thank you, Honorable Nkosi. The point of order is upheld. I had made a ruling, PP, that and I've mentioned these forums where whatever allegations or evidence people have should be sent to them. It's not expected that in this inquiry, you would, even if you have got an audio, that audio must be sent to where it belongs. So I would want you to refrain from presenting what you have presented in those forums and bodies, because it is not appropriate for this meeting. Please go ahead.
Chairperson, for unfortunately, I will having the point of order, but if you read my letter, Honorable Nkosi, it's paragraph 24, regarding the allegations of corruption against you, the late Peterson, and the Chief Whip, Majodina. Your proposal that they should only be addressed in the media is both absurd and extremely self-serving. Contrary to your labeling, these are no hearsay allegation. In fact, this is incontrovertibly evidence in the form of WhatsApp messages and other conversations confirming the allegations beyond any questions. While it is indeed so that the allegations of criminality against you, Ms. Peterson, are subject of a policy investigation and ethics committee, that does not remove the relevance to this work, Chairperson, because you are sitting here and I hear you've made a decision about the application. I don't have legal representation currently. And when that legal representation is availed, and I will have to then make that application. But that is a fact which is there, Honorable Nkosi. It's not hearsay, it's not veracity. The investigation is ongoing. I have the evidence before me. I've listened to that, and it's at the core, at the center of this matter. So that's why I'm saying. So unfortunately, Chairperson, as members of the committee, I was raising this. I brought the evidence before you. It's in my letter, and it's so disheartening.
PP, I'm asking you again, please do not continue speaking on this issue. I've made a ruling. I'm asking you not to continue doing that. Raise other issues that you want to raise. There's a ruling on this matter.
But Chairperson, I'm reading my
point
letter
of order,
in
Chair.
full.
On a point of order,
I'm reading
Chair.
my letter in full.
On a point of order, Chairperson.
I've made a ruling on this
Point
matter.
of order, Chair.
Other issues we want to raise. This is not a platform for you to present that. We have to find where that belongs.
On a point of order.
Yes, Honorable Zongole.
Chairperson, the public protector is reading the correspondence from herself to you. She covered issues pertaining to the issue of legal representation. Now, when she's covering what it is there in paragraph 24 of a correspondence to you, and when she's saying that there is an audio recording, you seem to be agitated and you want to stop her from continuing with what she's covered in a letter to you. So, Chairperson, please protect the public protector. Allow her to detail what is in that written correspondence. I don't understand, Chairperson, how you are going to want now to silence the public protector when she's dealing specifically with this issue. Because when she was speaking about the issue of legal representation, you had no issue. So please protect her. Allow her to address what is in that correspondence as full as it is. Please, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Zungula. That's really not a point of order that you are raising.
No point of order.
Shared with all members. Please, let's not do frivolous point of orders, colleagues. Honorable Malema, what point of order are you raising?
Chair, this looks so awkward. This looks so awkward that she now deals with issues that implicate you. And then you are the one that wants to cut her. You are censoring her precisely for selfish and self-interest reasons. Please don't do that. Uncomfortable as the issues may be, and that's what we said when we must recuse yourself, was to avoid exactly what you are doing. Uncomfortable as issues may be, allow her to speak. We have spoken on these matters. You made a ruling. She has never spoken. And it is her opportunity to speak. Allow her to speak and say to her, once she has spoken, the matters have been resolved and this is how we're going to proceed. But we're not going to be seen as if we're now censoring her because she's raising issues that implicate you. That is an abuse of platform. Please allow her to speak and will be done in no time. You are now in trouble.
Thank you, Honorable Malema. Again, that's not a point of order, but I've allowed you to complete what you're saying. The PP is the subject of this inquiry. She accounts to the National Assembly. When we make rulings, they apply equally to her about this. Honorable Mailam, is that a point of order?
Chair, I've been covered by your comment earlier that you've made a ruling on this matter. In fact, you've ruled twice on the matter now, and it's time to proceed with the rest of the correspondence and then the evidence itself. So I would argue, or I would urge, that we actually move on to other matters and not get bogged down on this particular aspect which has been dealt with and ruled upon.
Thank you. I'm back to you, PP, and I want to repeat the point. If there's any other issues you want to raise, please raise. But on these issues that we have discussed and made the ruling on, I would urge you, encourage you to prepare yourself to make such presentation to the Committee of Parliament where these matters have been, and I'm sure the allegations having been lodged with the police. That's also another platform. This inquiry is not that platform. The correspondence has been sent to all members. It's unheard of that I must now allow somebody to read their letter to us here. We're not doing that. That's not a subject of what we're doing today. Please proceed.
Chair, my hand is up. Please recognize me.
Yes, I recognize you.
Yeah, Chair, you are unfair because when we were speaking earlier on, the hand of the PP was up. You never pointed at her when you were pointing at us. And that was before you made a ruling. So she never had an opportunity when we did to say whatever she said. And now she's saying it after you have made a ruling, which is not a problem, by the way. It's your problem because you jumped into making a decision without hearing everybody, including the PP. Now, PP must still make her point because she never made her point. You can say that to me because I made my point during my time, but she never did. This is the first opportunity that she's getting to speak on the issues that we were speaking about ourselves. So allow her to finish her points. It doesn't matter whether you made a ruling or not. It was premature, your ruling or your decision. It's clear now with PP giving this evidence. So you should never have rushed to lock her out and make a decision because now you must still go back to that decision that you made, which is now what the PP is addressing. So allow her to finish her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Aute. Your order not upheld, and I come back to you again, PP. And I'm asking you, I've given you an opportunity to speak on what I would have presented in the legal advisor. I'd want you to
Chairperson, why are you so agitated when the PP is providing evidence?
Honorable Zungula, I've not recognized you, and I'm not going to repeat this. You do that again, and you know what is going to happen. Honorable, Public Protector, I'm now coming back to you to
Chairperson, I think
raise whatever that you have not raised so far, but please don't repeat issues that I've made a ruling on.
But Chairperson, that's an unfair process. Legally, that's so wrong. I think even your advisor should be telling you that and shouldn't have allowed you to make a ruling without hearing my side of the story. But then, Chairperson, I've even attached the WhatsApp messages, which should be shared with members of the committee. And unfortunately, Chairperson, this is at the heart of this particular process. So my issue is, again, the issue of recusal. It's before the SCA now. Remember, the Western Cape has indicated that they've aired, and then the matter is before the SCA. And this process was to request you.
Chairperson. Mr. Janji? Yes. No. PP was talking about the WhatsApp messages. Can they be flattened on the screen, please? So that we can see them as she's speaking about
not there. This inquiry is not about that. I'm not going to continue giving you platform and you deal with frivolous points of orders, Honorable Mautwe. Public Protector, please, I want you now to conclude your presentation.
Okay, Chairperson, the issue of the one you're saying I must put in writing, it's in my letter. It's related to corruption, extortion of bribe. And in my conclusion, I think Steve Biko mentioned that black people, you are on your own. If you've got members of parliament just dealing with their own like this, and I mean, when you listen to the audio, you'll hear what the MP, Tina, the late Tina, was trying to do. And what you have put in your letter indicated that you will be proceeding, you'll hear it's exactly, the recording will prove that's what you were planning to do, and is confirmed by the recording, which Ms. Jumate is saying. So unfortunately, if you are going to be just treating her like this, when she was trying to also, I mean, I must indicate that in other ways, she was also trying to sensitize me that this is the horrible process which you are subjected to. And I've said it several times. But Chairperson, I don't have legal representation. And I think my counsel must still be briefed, and the counsel will have to be available so that we can proceed. But as I indicated, I don't agree with you now reversing your decision, because you've decided that we were proceeding with my evidence, and even the program will have to give my program and deal with all the issues which you promised. The record is there. And this leaves me with no option that I will also have to tell my side of the story and engage members of the public what I'm subjected to, and to sit in front of the chairperson who is alleged to have been corrupt. So I think I will just end there. I can't do the recusal application because I don't have legal representation. Until that is done, I won't be able to meet the Friday deadline which you are giving me. I need to have legal representation so that I can do the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Public Protector. Colleagues, we're now going to take a 15-minute tea break, come back, and then we deal with the way forward. Thank you.